guys, it's about 6:50 a.m. I just woke up. I tossed some clothes on and I'm gonna drink my element here as Henry and I get ready for a track session. Should be a good one. You may be wondering what's on my face, and this is Pneuma nasal tape. I sleep with it every night and then I'll wear it for my runs in the morning. I just secured an ambassadorship with them and I've been big into nose tape for the past 2 years or so. It actually helps quite a bit. I have a deviated septum, so it helps open up my nose and increase the oxygen flow for these harder workouts.
We're smashing mics in karaoke bars. You're running late with half your makeup on. This method acting might pay off.
Workout today is a mile warm-up, 1 mile cool down, and then we have 3 reps of 0.75 miles at a 6:55, followed by 0.25 miles at a 6:20. Let's get rolling.
But soon enough there'll be a different role to fill. I love this feeling, but I hate this part. I wanted this to work so much, I drew up our plans on a chart. Cars are flipping.
1 mile warm-up is complete. Now we have a little bit of rest before our higher effort intervals. We just got yelled at, so we might be getting booted off of here, but hopefully we can stay for the remainder of this workout. So we did actually end up getting kicked off that track by the band teacher in the morning. So I'm gonna toss a clip in here from Thursday, 2 days later than when this video was filmed, of my track session then.
My character's strong, but my head is loose. She hits like ecstasy. Comes over, bangs the sense out of me. The tarot cards say it's not so bad, and the blades rotate. There's just
Today we are at the track. We have a 6.5 mile workout, so a 0.75 warm up, 0.75 cool down, and in the middle of that we have 2.5 miles at 8 minutes straight into 2.5 miles at 7:25. I wanted to take a chance to talk about my prep so far. We are currently sitting here, it's September 4th. We are almost exactly a month away from Twin City Marathon. My prep is going good. This week is my peak week, so we're hitting 50 miles this week. Next week we'll taper it back down to 48, and then the real taper begins for 2 weeks. So my max run this week is 22 miles, half at race pace. So I'm excited for the test. Should be interesting to see how well I can hold on to my new marathon pace. We are also about 6 weeks out from my 50-mile ultra overnight. I'm trying to keep the marathon at the forefront of this prep, but I can't forget to prioritize the 50 miles I have coming after that. That is why we are hitting such a high mileage this week with 50 and then 48. My plan for that is we're gonna hit peak week this week and then slowly taper it down for the next 2. Straight after the marathon that next weekend, we're gonna hit a 30-mile long run. That weekend after the Twin City Marathon, and then we're going to take a full week and a half taper leading into the 50 miles. One quick side note is I have been trying to rearrange my sleep schedule a bit. With my ultra starting at 3 a.m., it's going to be important that I get in a good routine and I'm ready to wake up around 2 and start running. Currently, I'm running usually in the mornings at 6 o'clock or after the school day around 5 p.m. But I'm gonna make it a priority to get up these next few weeks and hit the track or hit my workouts by 4 a.m. Let's get it.
Don't you remember that you were meant to be my queen of hearts?
That wraps up the track session. I hit the solid 6.5 miles. I'll toss the stats up here. Henry sank a solid 6.2 mile interval workout. So the fellas are a little hungry. We're gonna go home, get some food, and then hit a lift later tonight before bedtime.
Yo la conocí en Miami, en Brickell. Ella sabe que aquí hay ticket. Quiere que yo se la aplique, que pa' casa la trafique. Voy a llevarte pa' PR, mami, pa' que veas cómo es que se perrea. Tráete a tu amiga si te gusta la idea. Dile que esta noche vamos a janguear. Qué rico la vamos a pasar. Aquí nadie se va a casar, pero tú te vas a querer quedar. Ay, aprovecha que estoy soltero, single. Mírame mal si quieres que te singa. Te voy a llevar pa' PR todo el finde. Después de mí vas a borrar Tinder. Y estoy suelto, mami, estoy suelto. Mírame ahora perreando un experto. Estoy suelto, mami, estoy suelto. Ay, ay, ay. Hoy la calle está prendida, juga pastilla molida. Yo no pierdo tiempo, yo las cambio como Rosalía. La que me mira a los ojos por 5 segundos, ya yo sé que es mía. ¿Dónde están las malas? Que son bienvenidas. Estoy puesta para el lío. Dime si tu lía, tu amiguito, el corillo están bien rica, pero ese culo tuyo, wow, sobresalía. Salimos de la disco y estaba de día. Obviamente salí con la que quería. Ey, que viva la putería. Dale pa' atrás, tan chulería. Ey, dime si te vas a montar. Pa' la isla tengo el portal. Bien borrachos los tres. Baby, a las dos me las voy a llevar. Oh, oh, me quiere besar. Ja, yo que la puse.
Give a little basic girl, spirit in a way. Hit me up and say what up, what up, what up. I'm about to go, yeah. Hit me up on my iPhone, yeah. We chat and we talk long. Dope trip, need a new song. I could go and be a psycho, or we could drink and play ping pong. Hit a stone off a lapo, start singing my songs. You been renting out whips every single day. Be my friend in a brand new place. Bringing out gifts and singing on stage, yeah. Walking each through gardens, metal rays. There's a big group, gotta get away. Been in my shoes and
Alright, I wanted to have a chat at the end of this episode. And as you can see, the title of this episode is Becoming. So I was reflecting over this past week of training what marathon training and ultra marathon training is about and why I do it. In a marathon, the hardest part is not actually showing up at the start line and running 26 miles. It's the continued sacrifices, the hundreds of hours, months and months beforehand. When nobody's watching you, you are the only person to hold yourself accountable, and the discipline is built one step at a time. There's plenty of mornings in that time where you wake up, you're sore, you want to do anything but run, but you have to strap on your shoes and hit the trail. And that is what the marathon tests. The marathon itself, showing up race day, I think of that more as a celebration of the work, where you've already put all the work in, now it's just time to go solidify the deal. It's like a business exchange where you have all these meetings and meetings and meetings, and the race is you just signing the check. But in a marathon, you don't just run 26 miles. You become the type of person that can run 26 miles. And that's the real endurance, and that's really what I'm chasing in this marathon and ultramarathon prep. I don't sign up for marathons or ultramarathons for a big shiny medal or a belt buckle that I can wear around, because honestly, a medal is not going to wake you up out of bed every morning and allow you to put the work in. It's got to come from something deeper. And that's what a lot of people get wrong about chasing goals. They'll see people chase goals that they deem as unnecessary or over the top, when in reality the goal, the finishing the marathon, that isn't the prize. The real prize is the person you become along the way. Those early mornings and late nights, they build something inside of you, a willpower, a fire, a flame inside of you that can't be built through anything else besides pure hard work. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, signing up for that 50-mile ultra scares the shit out of me. The most I've ever ran in my life is a marathon, and in that ultra, I'm gonna be running a full marathon, get there, and they're gonna tell me it's halfway through the race. And at that point, I'm gonna need to dig deeper than I ever have before. But it brings me to a Cam Hanes quote I saw while watching his Cocodona 256 documentary.
I'd love to break. I'd love to break. I want to know what that is. I want to know when that happens, what happens, how it feels. I want to know what it's like to reach your actual limit. I want that relief. I want that relief to know that I did it. I found it. That's all I had.
Where people ask him why he signs up to run a 256-mile race, and he says, I sign up to see if this race can break me. And that's the way I see a marathon or an ultra marathon. It's a measuring stick along the process of life that you can use to see if you are the person you have sought out to be. And that's also biblical too. I have a quote that I have on my whiteboard in my room, and it says, I'll post it up here. It says, the servant who buries his talents isn't punished for wasting resources, but rather for doing nothing. He was paralyzed by fear and justified his inaction. Jesus called him wicked, not for failing, but for refusing to take the risk. And that's something that's really gotten me through this prep so far, and something that's going to continue to bring me through this prep, is that there is a chance I show up on the day of the 50-mile ultra and I can't get it done. But like it says in this quote, Jesus called him wicked, not for failing, but for refusing to risk. And that's what I'm doing with this ultra marathon, is I am taking a risk. It's double the farthest distance I've ran so far, which is a marathon, and I'm taking the risk to see if it can happen. Back to the whole becoming part of this episode. Why is it that I go through marathon training, ultra marathon training, weightlifting to become this version of myself in the future that I constantly play in my head? Why do I seek to become that person? And it's not just for me. It's not because I want to be recognized as someone who does really difficult tasks, but it's because I want to be the type of brother, the type of son, the type of spouse one day, and the type of person who people can look up to as a beam for light. One thing about me is that I probably have the flattest feet you have ever seen, and I went to the doctor for the Minnesota Vikings a few years ago, and he actually did tell me I had the flattest feet he'd ever seen, which, if you know anything about running, having flat feet is not great. It keeps you on the ground for longer, you get sore. But I run because if I, someone who's 200 pounds with flat feet, and I can run a 50-mile ultramarathon, then you can sign up for that half marathon that you've been thinking about. You can sign up for whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a race. It's just chase something that's uncomfortable for you to grow in the process. And so as we journey along these next few weeks leading into my marathon and ultramarathon, I'm going to keep this quote in mind from Matthew and keep chugging along in my prep in the process of becoming. I appreciate you guys sticking along this far in the episode. I also want to give a huge shout out to my brother Henry. He films a lot of my content, and without him, these videos would not be possible. So I appreciate you a ton, and thank you for coming along this journey with me. Peace.